Welcome back. It is 6:45. It's something hard to imagine. You're at the dinner table surrounded by your favorite foods, but you can't eat any of them.
That is the reality for many living with a chronic condition that delays emptying in your stomach. It is called gastroparesis. And during August every year, advocates spread awareness to educate and build community.
As diagnosed cases continue rising, the community fighting that disorder tells you it may be closer to you than you may think. In fact, for THV 11's Brooke Buckner, it's right at home.
Dinner time is something most of my family looks forward to, but for my sister Morgan, it's just not the same.
Honestly, even the smells of food kind of make me feel nauseous, like my body's already telling me no.
Morgan was diagnosed with gastroparesis in 2013, just months after graduating high school. She says she knew something wasn't right when she felt full all the time. At first, she tried different prescriptions and adjusted her diet.
Like low fat, low fiber, low residue. Was doing frozen yogurt at the time, lots of crackers, just stuff that's kind of bland.
13 years later, she can't even tolerate that. At just 32 years old, she relies on this feeding tube to get all of her nutrients. Instead of digesting in her stomach, the formula goes straight to her small intestine.
In the beginning, I didn't quite know how to cope with it, but over time, I'm just kind of like, this is life.
Yeah, morning appointments.
Okay.
Dr. Hunter Dunn with Arkansas Gastroenterology says the chronic condition can look different for each person. Not everyone needs a feeding tube. Now he's seeing an increase in cases.
We're finding that there's an increased awareness of the condition, so more people are getting tested for it. We see exacerbation of symptoms or worsening of symptoms with the GLP medicines that people are using for weight loss and diabetes. And there's also thought to be post-pandemic a relation to COVID, people having gastroparesis related to that virus.
Sometimes people with gastroparesis are also diagnosed with other disorders. For Morgan, that's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a condition that weakens your connective tissue, and postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, also known as POTS, which affects the nervous system. But there's one condition that Dr. Dunn says is more prevalent.
The most common would be diabetes. That's over half cases are related to diabetes.
He says that's one of the reasons we're seeing a rise in gastroparesis cases.
We have a rising rate of diabetes in the United States, so that in itself is going to increase the amount of gastroparesis we're seeing, but definitely we're diagnosing it more because we're thinking about it more, I think.
Besides feeling full, Dr. Dunn says there are other symptoms to watch for, like nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. A life-changing condition for Morgan, but through her struggles, she's met some of her closest friends living with the same thing, thanks to social media.
I was going through a very isolating time, and so I reached out to her, and next thing you know, we became best buds, and have so much in common and shared experiences and everything. And then there was another support group that opened up this year where I met one of my second friends.
Leaning on one another through the ups and downs of their chronic condition. Brooke Buckner, THV 11 News.